everybody's Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, of the Warriors of Chaos, versus Tyrant Om Nom Nom of the Ogre Kingdoms. Yep. Got another new list here for you. Not the typical list, a little bit different. But yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. Really, it'll explain itself. But yeah, here's the new army list that I'm trying out for the next couple of battle reports. My general is a Chaos Lord, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Mark Zinch, he's on a demonic mount, he's got the Charm Shield, the Hellfire Sword, and the Talisman of Endurance. So he's got a 2-up armor, 4-up ward, he's got a crazy no armor save, no regen save, D3 wounds, and if I kill a model on a 6, it explodes and does D6 strength 4 hits. And, you know, it's all with... oh, I'm sorry, he also has Soul Feeder. But yeah, he's pretty tough, or at least on paper he's pretty tough. You'll see how it works out. But I figured the demonic mount over the disc because a disc is still a cavalry model and they can be killing blowed. I know it's rare, I know it's unlikely, but dark elves have a lot of it, and so I didn't want to be killing blowed. I also like that it's a monster's calf, so it gets a stomp. It's strength 5 as opposed to strength 4, higher weapon skill, all those good things. So that's why I went with the demonic mount for my lord instead of, you know, like a disc or a chaos steed or something like that. The other lord I have is a sorcerer lord, and many people will be happy to see that Ashicus the Muse is back. Just a little different than you're used to seeing him, but he is back, and he's Mark Slanesh. He's a level 3 wizard, Enchanted Shield, Skull of Katam, and he uses Lower Shadow. My hero choices are my Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Zinch. He's got the Mark of Zinch. He's on a demonic mount. He's got his great weapon, Talisman of Preservation, and a Third Eye of Zinch. The second Exalted Hero I have is Lady Elizabeth, who's got the Mark of Zinch. She's on a Chaos Steed with a shield. She's got the Sword of Change and the Chalice of Chaos. And I go with this because I like that. Number one, I like the model. Number two, I like having my wife's avatar, whatever you want to call it, in the army. I get a kick out of that. I like that she's on a steed as opposed to a demonic mount because when she goes into the unit of knights, she can't be targeted right away. The Sword of Change, while not the optimal choice, and I understand it's way overpriced for what it does, I just like it, and the idea of getting a free spawn as well. I enjoyed so much with the Mutalith, I figured why not. And the Chalice of Chaos I enjoy because you get that like boost in that one main combat, you know, like when you're up against a general or something like that. So, and plus, you know, she could potentially become a demon prince, so I kind of get a kick out of that. So that's why it's currently in the list. Last but not least, I have a Chaos Sorcerer, Fune the Flame Warper. He's my level 1 Zinch caster on a disc with the Dragon Helm, the Talisman of Preservation, or Protection, Chaos Familiar, and he uses Laura Zinch, because I really, really like the Laura Zinch. My core choices are a unit of 6 Chaos Warhounds with Scaled Skin, a unit of 11 Marauders, that's right, just regular old infantry Marauders, with Marcus Slanesh, full command, light armor, and shields, and they are just a bunker for Ashicus. That's all they are. Makes it easier for me to keep him in the back, because with Lower Shadow, he's got pretty long range. There's no reason for him to see combat, and they can't simply shoot him off the table, because he's not going to panic. So I like the idea of having a little bunker in there. I've got a unit of 24 Chaos Warriors with Mark of Zinch, full command, hand weapon shield, and a banner of eternal flame. And only one chariot, with the Mark of Zinch. My special choice is a unit of 5 Chaos Knights, Elizabeth's Honor Guard. They got a band of musician, ensorcelled weapons, and the blasted standard, because they're my flankers. They run up there, they go after war machines, cannons, whatever. And the blasted standard against bolt throwers, for example, and cannons, the things that don't allow armor saves, you're set. Because it's either going to improve the situation or it's going to make the situation the same. You can't go wrong with the blasted standard when you're hunting cannons or bolt throwers, because a single shot bolt thrower is strength 6. You're wounding on 2s, no armor save. A strength 10 bolt thrower or a cannonball at strength 10 is still wounding on 2s with no armor save. However, with the blasted standard, if I get it off, now the bolt thrower is wounding me on 5s, and the cannonball is wounding me on 3s. Not huge, but which would you rather have for 25 points, right? Yeah, I know regular shooting for the most part, if it peppers at him or whatever, there is a chance that it's going to wipe him. I understand that. It's a risk I'm willing to take, but considering I like to gamble, bet big to win big, I have no problem with this banner, and I'm not taking it out. As long as I run the Knights, Tzeentch, they're going to have the Blasted Standard because they're just too cool. Oh, yes, and the Knights are Mark Tzeentch. I apologize. But last but not least is my rare choice, the Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast. My opponent's list is his revamped Ogre list. This was Slaughtermaster Marcus from the last couple of Ogre games I've put up here. This is his retooled list, and it's quite good in my opinion. He now has a Tyrant as his general. His Tyrant has an extra hand weapon, the Armor of Fortune, and a Crown of Command. And he still has a Slaughtermaster, which is his level 4 wizard. He's got the Armor of Destiny and uses the Lore of Great Maw. His hero choice is still the Bruiser, BSB with the Rune Maw, because that's awesome. His core consists of 13 Iron Guts with full command and a Razor Standard, as well as 10 Nobblars. And I like Nobblars, so the fact that he's included them just makes this list more endearing to me. He also has a unit of 10 Man-Eaters with full command, poison, and stubborn. 4 of the Man-Eaters have extra hand weapons, 2 of them have great weapons, and 4 of them just have regular kits. And he's got the Dragonhide banner in this unit, so on the charge, they're devastating. And his rare choices are 2 Iron Blasters, because what's an Ogre Iron Gut Death Star army without 2 cannons? Here are my spells, 3 from Shadow, 2 from Tzeentch, and of course the Mutalist spell. Here's my opponent's spells. He doesn't have the cards, so he's just got a Slaughtermaster. And he got Bullgorger, Toothcracker, Troll Guts, and the Maw. And here's deployment. As you can see, his army is tiny. For the most part, I set up everything to face him. There was really no point in going silly with it. The Knights are over on my left flank, so they can sweep around and get a hold of the cannons. My Tzeentch Disc Caster is on the right flank, so he can zoom around and get some pot shots off on the Man-Eaters and maybe one of the cannons, if so be it. The Mutalith is up against the Nobblars because I have figured with Toughness 3 I've got a better chance to go after them. And the Dogs are set up right across from the Iron Guts because they're going to sacrifice themselves to hopefully put those guys out of position. So that's the plan. Here's my opponent's army. I know I put center there, but it is centrally located. On the left side on the hill are his 2 Iron Blasters. In front of them at the bottom of the hill are his 10 Nobblars. Right next to them is his Gut Death Star Iron Gut unit with his Tyrant, his Slaughtermaster, and his BSB in there. So yeah, that is a huge, huge brick of points right there. And right next to them are his unit of Man-Eaters. And yeah, that's it. Here's my right flank. There's my Disc Caster Fune right there. There's my Tzeentch Chariot. Here's my center. From the right to the left there's my Warriors. There's my General on a Demonic Mount. There's my BSB on a Demonic Mount. Right next to them is the Marauders with Ashkiss in there, my level 3 caster. I know it looks like they have flails. No, it's hand weapon shield. The flails are just a figment of your imagination. You're crazy. You're a lunatic. I don't understand what you're saying. The Dogs are right in front of them. And there's the Beast looking to take out some Nobblars. Here's my left flank. I've got 5 Knights, and as you can see, my wife is starting to paint them. They're starting to look cool. And, of course, Elizabeth joined up in the unit. And we go to top of 1, and I got to go first. So I did. And my Knights go flying up. They kind of use the hut as cover so that if the Iron Guts want to take a shot, or the Iron Blasters want to take a shot at them, they got to move. Also, the Dogs ran up, the Beast ran up to get within 18 of the Nobblars, the Disc guy, like I said, everything just kind of moves up. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. During the magic phase, the Beast gets the spell off on the Nobblars, and he makes them stupid. Yep, there you go, right there. They make them stupid, and 2 of them fail their toughness checks. Needless to say, that was enough for a panic check, but I made Nobblars stupid, and that made me feel pretty good. Also, Fune has a pretty good showing with the Bolt of Change, and he fires one off into the Man-Eaters. Unfortunately, only did 2 wounds, and they pass their toughness check and they now have regen, but I really like the Bolt of Change, and anytime you get to shoot ogres with a magical bolt thrower, especially Tzeentch magical bolt thrower, it's just fun. So, yeah, basically what I did is I gave the Man-Eaters some regen, and one's hanging onto life by a thread. So, there's that. And so here's bottom of 1 after movement, and as you can see, there was no charges. Everything moves up except for the Iron Blasters, which just kind of take better angles to get pot shots off on my guys. And the first one that fires, his magic phase was a wash, so went to shooting, and the first one that fires, shooting at the Mutalith, misfires too, and cracks his barrel. So the one on the left there, yeah, it ain't firing anymore this game. All praise Tzeentch. The other one, the one on the right, fires at the general and destroys the charm shield, so that was a good thing. Here's top of 2 after movement, and as you can see, there has been some. The dogs run up to get in the way of the Iron Guts. The BSB, the general, and the chariot all make it into combat with the Man-Eaters on the charge, which was awesome. The Mutalith moves out of the way for the potentially overrunning Iron Guts. And I kind of gamble with the Marauders and just kind of leave them right where they're at. Meanwhile, the Knights come back up around to get a beautiful charge on Iron Blaster Hill next turn. So that was actually kind of exciting. Yeah, time to kill Man-Eaters. And I'm excited about this one because the plan here is, I know they have regen because of me, but he doesn't realize I have the Hellfire Sword. So he's confident in this fight, and I'm loving that. My BSB is going to issue a challenge, so if anything's going to accept, it's going to be the BSB. My general, his job is just hit 3 times, wound 3 times, and needing 3s and 3s. I'm pretty sure I can do that with 5 attacks. Meanwhile, the chariot just went in there to help with combat res. I know they're stubborn, I know they're not going anywhere, but I figured any amount of attacks I get to throw into these guys is a good amount of attacks. Magic is a wash. I don't have any shooting, so we go into combat, and oh my effing god. The only thing to produce in this entire combat was my chariot. It did a ton of impact hits, but my general fails me horribly. 5 attacks, 1 hit. I wound with the 1, but I do 1 wound. I take away their flaming whoop-de-doo, but the BSB does alright. He puts 2 wounds on the Gut Lord. But he takes 1 in return, and then the Man-Eaters attack the chariot and put 2 wounds on him. So I lose this combat by 1, believe it or not. Everything stays, thank God, but I'm really pissed off at the Chaos General. He needed 3s and 3s, and I wound once, and I do 1 wound. Meanwhile, the BSB is able to do 2, and the chariot is able to do a ton of wounds. I was pissed at this point, and I'm really disappointed with this Chaos Lord garbage. I don't even know why they call him a Lord. He's a Chaos Marauder. I'm pissed at this point. I'm pissed just thinking about it. So we go to bottom of 2, and the Iron Guts take the bait and they go after the dogs, and that's really just to put them out of the fight for a round, so they can't angle and get a shot off at my BSB or anything like that. His unshootable Iron Blaster runs over to accept the fact that the Knights are going to kill him, while the other one runs over to try to get a hold of Fune, because I did move him a little bit too close. That's my fault. Other than that, the Noblets just turn around to fire sharp stuff off at Mutalith. There's a better shot of the Iron Guts getting ready to just do some dog abuse right there. During his magic phase, he gets +1 strength and regen off on his Man-Eaters because I'm rolling terribly. Just really terrible. I throw like 5 dice at his at his +1 strength to try to stop that, and it goes off because I roll awful. And then with his regen, he throws a whole bunch of dice at that one, and same thing. I try to dispel it with my level 1, and I fail to do it. It's just ridiculous. He's rolling really well, I'm rolling really crappy, and I'm pretty sure somewhere out there, Tzeentch is trying to tell me that this list isn't any good. So I'm a little frustrated. So yeah, we continue on, and we go to his shooting phase, and he grape shots Fune, and he rolls a 2. So I'm like, great, he moved, he's got to hit me on 5s. He rolls a 5 and a 6, and then he wounds with both. I'm able to ward save 1 of them, thank God, and so Fune lives, but just barely. So that was actually kind of frustrating, but it was kind of par for the course at this point, In the ensuing combat, the Iron Guts just face stomp the dogs. And if you didn't see that coming, you haven't been paying attention. Not a shock at all. They reformed to look over at the fight with the man-eaters, but I'm not too concerned about that. Over here, the BSB takes another wound. He takes another wound, but he's able to kill the man-eater captain, so that was something. My flippin' stupid piece of junk, useless, motherless... Oh, you elf lord piece of crap. He flubs again. He hits 3 times, wounds once, does 1 wound. That's it. The chariot was able to do more wounds and actually was able to kill another man-eater all by himself before they finally killed the chariot. The 120-point core choice did better than the 400 and something point chaos lord. So at this point, I'm contemplating just going outside of the store with that model in my hand and throwing it as hard as I can in the traffic. But I don't feel like, doing that, so I don't. But now don't get me wrong, I'm upset, I am mad, but not at my opponent, not at anybody else. I'm upset at the model and my own inability to roll average. But I'm going to take it out on the model because it's his performance that's happening right there. The BSB is still performing, although he's taking wounds unlike I've ever seen before. The chariot performed phenomenally. He wasn't supposed to last as long as he did. The fact that he got 2 rounds of combat in and it did anything is the only reason I'm still in this flippin' combat. But my general I rely on, especially a combat general. He's got the Hellfire Sword in combat with ogres. It doesn't get any sweeter than this, and the fool is failing with it. I am literally almost completely and totally done with the Chaos Lord at this point because he's awful. I lose this combat again by like 2, but luckily dumbass general is leadership 9, and I got my BSB right there, so they stay. But it's unflippin' believable that this keeps happening. So, no, I lose by 1 because he got a musician or something. But regardless, it's... Come on, man! However, on a bonus side, by killing the man-eater captain, my BSB gets a reroll, which is whoop the F and do, right? And I do forget to use it, just in case you were wondering. So, here's top of 3 after movement, and I have no choice. I have to send the warriors into the Iron Guts, if only to stop them from flying into the BSB and the general next turn, because they can see my BSB. So, I send the warriors in, and I move the Marauders up with Ashicus, because the hope is I can lower their strength, lower their toughness, do something to stop the Iron Guts from being Iron Gutty. Meanwhile, the Knights go into the cannon, and the Muleth goes into the Nobblers. So there's that. And also the disc character gets away from the, what's it called, the cannon. I don't want to play with that anymore. There's been a picture of the beautiful Knights slamming into the Iron Blaster. It's going to die. There's my warriors. It's a really, really bad matchup for them. I know it is, but I don't have a choice. I probably should have left the BSB and the Chaos Lord to their own fates and just try to crash into the flank with the warriors, but I didn't. I did what I did because I had to. Or I guess because I wanted to would be the better way to put it. There's the beast into the Nobblers, and yeah, we all know how that's going to go. So right there, boom, the Knights kill, or they don't kill the Iron Blaster. I do like 3 or 4 wounds to it, and with charge, banner 3 or 4 wounds, and not taking any wounds in return. They lose, they break from combat. I don't pursue so that my Knights can turn and get into the other Iron Blaster. Right here, the Muleth easily destroys all the Nobblers. However, when I charged in, they stood and shot, and they actually got a wound through on them. So the Nobblers made their mark. I'll give them that. Right here in combat, my warriors flub, and they flub spectacularly. I think I put 1 wound on maybe the BSB. The Tyrant pulps the unit champion, but the rest of the warriors do literally nothing. I roll so terribly for these guys that I might not, if I had not rolled dice at all, I think I would have done better. That's how terribly I rolled here. But needless to say, 3, 6, 7, 8 guys die, 9 guys die, something like that. I lose combat by a boatload. I don't roll snake eyes, even with the reroll. and I flee. However, I do get away. I am able to flee away from them, and it takes the Iron Guts out of range for them to hit into my BSB and Lord. So that was kind of the plan. I just wish it had gone a little bit better for me because I'm needy. Over here, as you can see, Flubtacular, Flubtastic Flubberton, the Fail Lord. He actually succeeds in hitting and wounding 4 times. I'm sorry, 4 times, and he does what is it, like 7 or 8 wounds total. It's like, finally, he's doing something. Okay, great. I'm going to be able to heal his wound with Soul Feeder. I'm going to rip these guys apart. My BSB, he can't attack now because everything's out of combat. But you know what? The cool part is everything's dead. I've got this now. Okay. Now after this, my Lord can turn around and start dealing with the Iron Guts. Awesome. Everything's starting to work out. No. The one remaining Maneater puts 2 wounds through, or gets 2 wounds through on the friggin' Chaos Lord, and I fail his, what is it? He had a 4-up armor, 4-up ward. Fails both of them, and he dies. I literally flicked him. That's why he's knocked over like that. I didn't just lay him down. I flicked him with my finger like you would like a gnat or a flea or something insignificant and useless like the Chaos Lord. I hate him. So I flick him in the head and he falls over and he doesn't break because I use a ton of glue when I put stuff together. But yeah, the BSB is no longer in the combats and knows in either is the Maneater now. So the BSB turns to face the Iron Guts. And now that I think about it, he probably shouldn't have been allowed to do that. But well, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, the Lord finally does something and then fails because the one remaining Maneater, a special choice I might add, a less than 100 point, less than 70 point special choice I might add, kills him. Kills a Lord that has a 2-up, 4-up. I haven't been this disgusted with a character since the Marauder Horseman. In fact, I will sooner put Marauder Horseman in my list before I ever feel this concentrated failure ever again. Ever again. So, yes, I am ranting. I'm sorry if it irritates you, but it's my therapy. Okay. So here's bottom of 3 after movement, and as you can see, the Iron Guts easily catch the warriors and run them down. The one remaining Maneater flush with victory because, hey, if you can kill a Chaos Lord on a demonic mount with the Hellfire Sword, why can't you kill a BSB that's already got 2 wounds on him? Hell, I'm rooting for the Maneater at this point. He goes charging into the BSB, and the other Iron Blaster runs over to try to take out my Knights or my Mutalith or whatever the hell it wants to shoot at. I really don't care. Right here is a better picture of the Maneater slamming into Tardum. Right there is a better picture of the warriors being run down by the Iron Guts. You can't see the warriors because they're underneath the sheer bulk of the Iron Guts and 3 characters. The Iron Gut Death Star is no joke. Right here, the cannon fires at the Knights and misfires 4. Just can't shoot this turn. So how awesome is that? And in combat, I put 2 wounds on the Maneater, and he doesn't do anything back to me. He charged and did 2 wounds to my, or I'm sorry, he charged, had a flank, and had high ground. To my 2 wounds and a banner, it's a stalemate. So I just turned to face him. We rolled because we really weren't sure how that worked. So we just kind of rolled. I rolled a leadership to see if I could turn to face him, and I passed. So I turned to face him. So that's why that's there. Yep, real quick, sorry. Due to all the hatred I had in my heart for my Chaos Lord, I apparently forgot to take a picture of the top of 4 after movement. I blame the Middle East, and I apologize. But during the magic phase, this is now top of 4. During the magic phase, he's able to get, or the beast is able to get his spell off on the Iron Guts. He actually fails his Rune Maw thing, and I lower their weapon skill by 1, but I give them +1 attack. So they're not like weapon skill 2 for some of them, but they have extra attacks now. Yay! Not that I really intended to get into combat with the Iron Guts anymore, but it is kind of funny. Over here, oh yeah, I'm able to get Enfeebling Foe off on the Maneater. only because of the stupid Rune Maw. So that was fun, let me tell you. And it's a miscast. Yeah, I end up miscasting 12, and I lose 1 lizard level off of Ashkis, so Enfeebling Foe is now gone. And as you saw in the previous picture, in combat, I'm easily able to kill off the Maneater now that he's been enfeebled without taking any wounds for my trouble. Over here, the Knights did charge the Iron Blaster. In combat, I'm able to put like 2 wounds through on him or something like that. I'm not rolling that great this game. But with everything, I'm able to easily break him from combat, but I don't run him down. I miss him by about an inch. And so that's where they end up. And we go to bottom of 4, and look, I remember to take a picture. Yay! The Iron Guts turn to face, and the Iron Blaster rallies. So that's it. Right there, just because why not, the Iron Guts get regen off on them. And right here is top of 5 after movement. And the Knights charge the Iron Blaster again, and everything else runs around so that the Iron Guts can't see him because the Iron Guts are scary. Right there, the Iron Blaster flees from the after in combat, the Iron Blaster loses and gets away from the Knights because I don't pursue, because if I did, the Iron Guts could have got a hold of my Knights with Elizabeth, and I didn't want to give him any more points than I've already given him. So here's bottom of 5 after movement. The Iron Blaster doesn't rally. I know it doesn't show it just yet, but the Iron Blaster does not rally, and he continues to flee. Meanwhile, the Iron Guts turn to face the Mutalith, and that was fine. I was going to move the Mutalith out of the way if he could march, and then I was going to take Ashikis out of the unit of Marauders and put him like behind him so that when the Marauders got killed and they overran, they hit Ashikis, but who cares? Well, no, I probably would have moved Ashikis away, like, down so that the Iron Guts couldn't charge him, or if they did charge him, you know, he could just stand, take it, and keep the Iron Guts away from him. I don't know, something like that. During his magic phase, he gets +1 strength, +1 toughness, which I let go because I didn't care. I had no intention of facing that unit in combat. It was just I had nothing left that was worth throwing at it. And so we go to top of 6 after movement, and the Mutalith cannot do anything, which sucks. Well, I take that back. He can do stuff. He can't march. I'm too far away for the reroll. He can't. The Mutalith can't march, so he just stands in front of the Iron Guts and accepts his fate. Meanwhile, the Knights charge the Iron Blaster on the off chance he rolls poorly and I'm able to get a hold of him. But he rolls really, really well. I rolled like a 2 or a 3 for, you know, plus the 7. So it was like a 10-inch charge. I might not have even made it if he had stood. So, well, not that he could stand. He was fleeing still. But you get my point. So I moved the disc guy over there to try to maybe magic him off the table, but that was really about it here. Meanwhile, the BSB just takes his perch point because I thought it was a cool angle for him to take, and he wanted to see the battle better. Nothing else happens, so we go to bottom of 6. And as you can see, that Iron Blaster does not rally. He continues to flee, and he's now inside the graveyard there. Passes dangerous terrain. It wasn't a hill, so we were like, well, you might as well take a dangerous terrain because you are still a chariot. He passes it no problem. And the Iron Guts slam into the Mutalith. There's a better picture of the Iron Guts about to kill my poor beast. Oh, I'm sorry, beast. I'm sorry. And in the ensuing combat, yeah, the beast dies. Damn, 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 damn. Oh, I hate it when the beast dies. So after all is said and done, they overrun into the Marauders, but it's bottom of 6, and nothing's gonna happen after this. So this is it. This is the end of the game. Piss poor showing for me, I know. I still enjoyed the game. I learned a lot. I learned that, number 1, I really, really enjoyed Ashikis in the unit of the Marauders. I really liked the Lore of Shadow, just being able to blast my spells from a bunker. That was kind of cool. I really liked the Knights, obviously. They're always good. And I also realized that I have a deep-seated hatred for the Chaos Lord and Demonic Mount, but we'll get to that. So, quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get the banners. Look at the banners. You want the banners. Get the banners. There's no reason not to get the banner. There's an email. Send him an email. Tell him what you're looking for. Tell him the price range you're looking for. He will work with you, I have no doubt. He's worked with everybody else, and a lot of people have some badass banners. You could be one of those people with a badass banner. Send him an email. Check out his Facebook page. Get a banner. There's absolutely no reason not to, and you can't lose by getting one. I mean, I have gotten every banner I have from this guy, and I can't take him anywhere without somebody going, "Wow, where did you get that banner?" Send him an email, go to Facebook, get yourself a banner. Tokens, 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 tokens. Wound tokens, augments, hexes, potions, random spell effects, fear, terror, stupidity, frenzy, whatever you need, she makes tokens for them. All the different lores of magic, all the different status effects for multiple different games, not just Warhammer Fantasy, 40k, Infinity, Malifaux, Battletech, Dystopian Wars, whatever it is that you play, she makes tokens for it. It doesn't matter. Even if you just want them for D&D markers, like for the monsters and stuff, so you don't got to buy those big expensive models, you just want the tokens and stuff like that, do it. Send her an email. They're less than $10 a kit. They're glass beads, so it magnifies all the words and the picture inside. They look amazing on the table. There's no reason not to get a token. Send her an email. Get the ball rolling. In the end, after points were all totaled up, it was a solid defeat for Lord Tremendous. I got 900 points even out of him, and he got 1340 out of me. It was a brutal fight, to say the least. I ended up losing my Chaos Lord, who's a peasant in my eyes as far as I'm concerned. My Warriors, but in all fairness, the Warriors got a bum fight. I'm not going to blame that on them. That was unfortunate. They did flub, but they're up against Iron Guts. There wasn't a whole lot they were going to be able to do. The Warhounds, they sacrificed themselves. The Chariot, I'm going to blame that on the Chaos Lord as well. And the Beast. Oh, the Beast. I lost him. Feel terrible about that. The Ogres ended up losing his Man-Eaters, his Iron Blaster, and a unit of Nobblers. So about 900 points worth of stuff, But yeah, I don't know if you could tell or not, but I am just about finished with that Chaos Lord. I decided after cooling off after our game that I'm going to give him one last chance. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was my dice. But what a terrible, terrible couple of games for the Chaos Lord. The first game I run him in, he flees off the table the minute the dogs guy top of turn one. The second game, he flubs for 2 solid rounds of combat, and then when he finally does good, he gets killed by a Man-Eater. A 65-point Man-Eater, if he was that much. He might have been 56 points now that I think about it. How friggin' ridiculous is that? So awful, so terrible. I've played the Demon Prince a lot, and I've never had him fail like that. So I'm very disappointed in the Chaos Lord, but I'm going to give him one more try, because maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I like the new list. I like the new list. Yay, words! The Loris Shadow isn't bad. I actually enjoyed that very much. I kind of miss the Hellstriders though at this point, and the Loris Slanesh, but I'm playing around. Ashicus is back. I just don't know what flavor I want him to be in the army. You know what I mean? But of course, Ashicus did well, even on foot. I didn't roll real good for a lot of his spells, unfortunately, and of course with the Rune Maw, I was kind of limited. But still, it was a good showing. He did better than a lot of the casters I've had in the list. And what I realized too is that I really, really liked having my Combat Lord and my Sorcerer Lord separate. Like with the Demon Prince, when he's level 4 and everything like that, if he dies, you lose a huge chunk of your magic as well as a huge chunk of your combat. When I lost my Chaos Lord, my magic phase wasn't affected at all, so that was really cool. It was kind of like a breather, so I really liked having it split up. So at this point, I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but that won't come into play until another couple of battle reports. But yeah, just to plant that seed, I got something brewing in that little crazy brain of mine. But I still got a long way before perfecting the list, so we'll see. We'll see, like I said. Just stay tuned. But it was a good game. My opponent was great. His new list is phenomenal. It's really cool because with so many characters in that unit of Iron Guts, and Iron Guts themselves being so expensive, you have to deal with them. So the idea of just ignoring them, feeding him chaff, and taking out the rest of his army, while that's still feasible and a smart way to go. It won't win you the game. It'll be a draw at best because there's so few points outside of the Iron Guts. It's not going to be enough. Unless you play a perfect game, you don't give them any points, which I just don't believe that is going to happen very often. So I think it's cool. I like the new list. I'm really looking forward to playing against it again. And keep in mind, I was upset with the Chaos Lord. I was not upset with my opponent. My opponent played beautifully. So, yeah, please don't take any of my rants as any kind of a hit against my opponent. He was a phenomenal opponent, and I can't wait to play him again. But hopefully, after some tweaks and some counseling with my dice and stuff like that, the rematch will be different. You know, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys, for Battle Report number 57. That's right. I don't know why I keep reading off the numbers to you, but I enjoy it, so you have to deal with it. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really did enjoy it. I know the Chaos Lord rant was a little dark, but it's true. I'm mad at him, but I'm not mad at anything else, so everybody calm down. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.